Good morning, Flosstube. It is Sunday, July 26th, 2020, and I am Michelle with Michelle's Romantic Tangle. And I know my quilt is falling off the wall behind me, but kind of fits the morning I'm having, so I'm just going to leave it there and rehang it later. I stitched this week. I am so happy that I stitched this week. I don't know if I had time or made time or seized the little bit of time I had, but whatever, I made progress. I pulled out Beach Babies and did all of this here with her sign. The sign is kind of boring, but the sign is paving the way to move on to the next little girl, so the sign makes me happy. It's a dimensions kit, and that is what it will look like. Everything to this side of the girl is sand that I have not filled in yet, and then it's going to get really busy once I jump across the sign. But I'm looking forward to it, and it is summer, it is warm, it is the weirdest summer ever. But I'm liking the idea of stitching these little girls at the beach doing the stuff that none of us can go do right now. And then I pulled out stitching lessons, and I spent a few hours. All I did was fill in background on the wall behind them, but that's okay because that's progress. And it was a night that stitching background was a good thing to be doing. It'll get me where I need to go, that I can move on to some more exciting parts of the design. And I wasn't ready to deal with hair and faces. I just did miles of one color of floss. And I pulled out Canner's Kitchen. This is my current Tackling My UFOs project. It is making progress fast. So I'm glad I finally picked this one up, and I'm plowing ahead on it and solving some problems I was avoiding and liking it a lot. And then I pulled out Plague Nurse, and not a lot of progress, but it's progress. Progress is a good thing. And then I pulled out another project. In the list of ways to not store your projects, this probably tops the list because I've got my project folded up in something that looks like garbage, and this might be what happened to the white rabbit I started stitching for Stitch Mania in 2019, because it is gone, and I hope I didn't tuck it into something like this. It does work well to keep things all compact. So what I have got going on in here is the Bendy Stitchy Michael J. Fox fundraising sampler from way earlier this year. I'm stitching on linen. This is not nice linen. It is, what are you? It is Charles Craft Super Linen that I got from the thrift store for 59 cents, and it's challenging. I also have not stitched on linen much in years, and reminding myself how it works and how to count across it, it's not my thing. As a reminder, what this will say when it is done is acceptance doesn't mean resignation. It means understanding that something is what it is, and there's got to be a way through it. And we are working our way through so many things this year. This thing keeps changing its meaning every time I pick it up or think about it. So there are the words, and then there's kind of a floral border. I am not using the colors Michelle charted because I decided somehow in my head this needed to be this shade of red. I'm not asking the voices in my head questions. I am just doing it in that shade of red because it seems like a thing. And I have been keeping all of my little projects in progress in my bee project bag that I made back in November when we were at the coast. This thing will hold a ton and keep them all tucked in one spot, and I loved it when I made it, but I'm loving it even more now. This is a dollar store tea towel that I folded in half and lined and made into a project bag, and I wish they would put their cute new designs on flour sack tea towels and not the fuzzy stuff, because I would make so many more of these. So that's all the stitching, no knitting. I had errands to run, so I went to Joann's and I picked up the Halloween issue of Just Cross Stitch. I've got mixed feelings about this one. Somebody posted something that made me decide I needed to get it without overthinking it this year, and then I got it home and I could have lived without it maybe. I do kind of like Jack. And I do like the Gothic window small one. I don't have that one bookmarked here. And I really do like Pick Your Poison. If I'm going to stitch anything, it's going to be this one. And I don't know if you saw, my last video was on knitting with sock yarn on a budget. And I know I talk a lot about stitching and knitting on a budget. And I hope that doesn't come across as whiny. My particular challenge, thought process, whatever, is that it's not that I can't have any one thing. It's that once you buy that one thing, there is always another one thing, and they add up fast. So if I watch my budget on most of the things, then when there is that one pattern that blows me away that I have to have, I can have it. So while I was at Joann's getting the Halloween issue and killing some time because I had an appointment that we'll get to later, they had the Tim Holtz washi tape on clearance, and I had to. I did not have to, I chose to. But there is just so much in the colors and the subject matter, and oh, this is the one. It has like the lined paper, and I think for junk journaling, and they were reduced to $4.47 and then 40% off of that, so they were super cheap. And this was going to be my last purchase for a while. They had a stamp for bullet journaling, and I have been hand drawing my project trackers, which is a pain. And I thought this, with a coupon, it was like $2. Perfect plan, except I don't think I have a stamp pad in this house that still has ink in it, because it has been that many years since I stamped anything. So now I've got to go to the Dollar Tree to buy a rubber stamp pad, hoping they sell them. I think they do. And I had a gift card to Craft Warehouse that my mother bought me for my birthday, but was not able to give to me until the lockdown started. So I went to Craft Warehouse, got a basic beginner watercolor kit, because I've been watching YouTube tutorials and wanting to try that. And in their clearancey stuff, they had these. I don't know what these are intended to be, but they were 50 cents each, and those are stitch markers for knitting. I don't think that's what the manufacturer wants them to be, but just look at these gorgeous blingy little things. They are stitch markers for knitting, and at the rate that I lose stitch markers, these are perfect. My other well thought out decision for the week, I decided to take the plunge and buy myself a pack of mild liners. These are highlighters that are tamer colors, and I had bought a single gray one to use in my journaling like 2 years ago, and I like it a lot. Someone somewhere said that Crayola Super Tips mimic these colors exactly, and I think that they do. I find the Crayola ones smeary. I am left-handed, so I can smear any pen, whether it's smeary or not. These don't smear as much, and they're smaller. I think the lids stay on better. And for keeping in a project bag, I decided that I like these better. And you know, for a once in a while splurge, I decided these were the thing I wanted. I've been playing with the decision for like a year. So those are my thoughts on cross-stitchy budgeting. And like I said, I do not mean to whine. I do not mean to give the impression that I can't have what I need or I want to have. I just try to be careful because, oh, it is so easy to get carried away and splurge and spend a lot on a lot of stuff real fast. My appointment was at the library for curbside pickup. I got 3 books. This book has taken since March to make it the 5 miles from one branch of the library to the other branch of the library. The entire time it has said in transit. I don't know what they've got going on there, but I have my book and I'm happy. So I have a book of shawls that is gorgeous, and a book of embroidery patterns, And then this one, which is Stitched Memories, and I haven't had a chance to play with these yet, but it has got, where is the thing I want to show you? Should have put a bookmark in this, huh? It's got stitch journaling things. So I am super excited about these. It was worth the wait. We'll do flip throughs of them as soon as I get a chance, spaced out, because no one wants 3 flip throughs in one day. So if you like one better than the others, let me know and I'll try to get to that one first. And it was a good week for stitching this week. I was going to say that I had made it through the whole week without anything bad happening under my roof. We had a horrible tragedy in our small community, and just since the lockdown started, I think this is our 4th big horrible tragedy. So yikes, it's the kind of thing that makes you slow down and wonder how that possibly could have happened, and pray that it will never happen again, and thankful that it was not as bad as it could have been. So there's that, and then today was going to be my day that I didn't have to get up super early in the morning to drive to the job that is not mine. I had arranged my ducks in a row so I could stay home all day and stitch and do some videos and all of that. And just as I was thinking about starting to get out of bed, my oldest son broke the door of the freezer. It wouldn't open, it wouldn't close. I hate our freezer. If you were watching me back in January when I was waiting a month for replacement parts to come in, you know how much I hate my freezer. So today will be spent de-icing the freezer and hopefully solving the problem. We've almost got the door figured out, but not quite. And I've got everything in the cooler and the freezer I bought off Craigslist while we were waiting for the other freezer to get fixed. And it's one of those low-level things that in 3 months will not matter, whether we have to replace this horrible thing or not. But you know, if your mom tells you that she knows the freezer's iced up and to stay out of it until she can fix it, you might listen. I think that most of you are old enough to be in charge of your own freezers. If you don't want someone messing with the freezer, I guess put a sign on it or duct tape it closed or something. I was going to do this later this afternoon, but not under the circumstances it got done under. And I will end with some super happy news. My husband and I went out for a drive yesterday. We've been doing a lot of drives on country roads, going places we don't know where the roads go, which we've lived in this part of the state all our lives. So it's not often that we find a place we totally haven't been. My husband found me a quilt show. It was an accident. He did not plan this ahead. He found me a quilt show in 2020, the year of no nothing. This little local quilt guild, I cannot remember the name of them. I think they're in Oak Ridge. Doesn't help you to tell you because the show is over. They set up their quilt show in the library parking lot, and what they did is they hung the quilts on fences along the outer ring of the parking lot, put up cones, and it was a no-contact drive-through quilt show. There were only about 30 quilts, but it was so fun, and the 2 or 3 ladies there running it were so enthusiastic. And we bought a bunch of raffle tickets because these little groups, their quilt show or whatever is their fundraiser for the year for their operating expenses. And even if they can't meet, some of those expenses don't go away. I don't know the quilt group I belong to. I don't know. I think they canceled the March meeting because we meet in a church to get together and quilts for charity. There are a lot of elderly members, ladies who I'm sure have underlying health conditions, so we just aren't until things change. And I don't know if this will be the end of our group. I hope it won't be. So love seeing the gorgeous quilts. It is amazing how much detail of the quilting you can see from the passenger window of your pickup truck. And I'm so glad they came up with this. I think as far off the beaten path as it was, I don't think anybody was spreading any germs or getting close enough to anybody to spread any germs. Especially not when they're doing like drive-through zoos and some of the things that I've seen celebrated on the news. This was fine. It was fun. I am so glad they did it. I am so glad we stumbled across it. I'll take happiness where I can get it. Thank you for watching. I am Michelle from Michelle's Romantic Tangle. I have got a... Oh! And I forgot. I'm discombobulated this morning. So back to the Halloween thing. Is Floss-o-ween a thing? Can we make Floss-o-ween a thing? Because I know that the kids aren't going trick-or-treating. I know that we're not going to haunted houses, and most of the big get-out with lots of people's plans are scrapped, but we can still work on projects. We can still put up our decorations. We can still watch scary movies and carve pumpkins and enjoy the season. I'm hoping that I can do a bunch of videos for Halloween. I don't think I can do every day. But I know Flossmas is a thing. Is Floss-o-ween a thing? Anybody want to play with me? Or if somebody else is already doing it, I'm not trying to steal their credit, let me know. Because I hope October will be a calm enough month that I can do the stuff that I have in mind. And knowing that nothing in this household is ever calm for long, I'm doing the tutorials in advance and scheduling them, so they'll be here whether or not I am. Thank you for watching. I am Michelle from Michelle's Romantic Tangle. I will be back with you again soon with more videos, and now I'm going to go tell the boys they have to put everything in airplane mode so I can upload this, and I'm going to chip that last inch of ice out of the freezer. Woohoo! See you soon.